What's up, deviants? Welcome back to the Naughty Corner. I am your host, Courtney. This is Court is in Session, and we are coming to you from the unceded territory of the Wanneroo people. We are starting off with a sick cunts and shit cunts. Am I the asshole? I locked myself in the basement for 4 hours and didn't help my wife with the baby.
Hot. I mean, totally inexcusable. I would never.
I, 30 male, and my wife, 29 female, have been married for 4 years now. We have a 2-month-old daughter. My wife is a stay-at-home mum, and I work as a software engineer. I work remotely, so it hasn't been that awful to split responsibilities. We decided that we would be taking turns this weekend to take time for ourselves. Yesterday, my wife went with her friends for a girls' day out. She said she'd be back around 8 p.m. and to not wait for her to eat dinner together. At around 8:30 p.m, I called her because she still hadn't come home. She told me her friends were planning to have a sleepover as well, and she requested me to take care of our baby tonight. Before I could reply, she hung up on me. The thing is, our daughter, Rose, is colicky, so she doesn't sleep well. We usually take turns taking care of her because she cries a lot and it's very hard for one person to watch over her. I had to stay up all night yesterday with Rose. My wife came home at 4 a.m. and she was completely drunk. She just blacked out on the bed immediately after coming home. At around 8 a.m, I got us fries, nuggets, burgers and drinks for the both of us, a strawberry milkshake and a cold coffee for myself, a blueberry soda and espresso for her. At around 9 a.m, my wife woke up and she said she felt very sick and asked me if I could take care of Rose for a few more hours so that she could eat breakfast and rest for a little bit. I was exhausted at that point because I hadn't slept all night yesterday but agreed. I was really annoyed with her at that point though, because today was supposed to be a break for me and her getting drunk wasn't part of the plan. We both had breakfast and she went back to bed. I was scrolling Insta while waiting for my wife to wake up. At 1 p.m, she hadn't woken up yet, and I ended up having to cancel my lunch plan with my friends. I was beyond angry at that point, but decided to wait for her to wake up instead of waking her up. She finally woke up at 3 p.m. I handed Rose to my wife and told her I'm going to the basement to watch a movie and take a nap. I also asked her not to disturb me until I came out on my own, unless there was an emergency. I made myself a few grilled cheese sandwiches and took the strawberry shake with me to the basement. I set up an air mattress and some pillows, then locked the basement door. Then I watched a few episodes of my favourite show. I ended up falling asleep midway through the show and woke up around 7 p.m. to 40 missed calls from my wife. When I went up to check on her and the baby, she said that it was very irresponsible and rude for leaving her alone with the baby for so long.
Bullshit.
I got mad and told her at least I didn't get blackout drunk and leave you to take care of a colicky baby for more than a day on your own without any sleep. She started crying and told me I was horrible for guilting her like that. Am I the asshole?
You're not guilting her, you're giving her the reality of the situation. No, you are not the asshole.
Wholeheartedly, totally understand where this mum is coming from. Stay-at-home mum, he gets a break from the crying by going to work. She does not. So
He
she
works
gets
remote,
the opportunity.
meaning works from home.
Yeah, but he's basically able to tap out of that. Like headphones in, not having to hear it, not having to respond to it, not having to stop, whatever the hell he's doing in order to having to respond to it, you know?
Only for X amount of hours per day, though.
But
Which, once he does tap out, she could easily then go, cool, she's yours for a bit. Which is what it sounds like they have been doing.
yeah.
So for them to then make an arrangement with each other that we're each going to get a day, and her to then decide to get completely blackout drunk, rock up at 4 a.m., these are the consequences of your own actions. You've done this to yourself. No one forced you to get drunk. You now have to deal with this.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like from the wife's standpoint, I absolutely get taking the opportunity to fully get loose when you actually, when the opportunity presents itself, when literally every hour of your life outside of that time away from, like outside of the time that you're at your house is literally all you have to be you and not anything to anyone else.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change the outcome. Like
yeah,
the fact of the matter
level
is,
of responsibility.
like, yes, she's probably still feeling like shit right now, like hungover, but you physically can't function on sleep. With how long she left him with the baby for, knowing that he would essentially have to be awake constantly in order to be tending to her, it was dangerous for them to be left alone for that long.
Yeah.
So, like, justified asshole. Like, is it a shitty thing to say? Sure.
The truth hurts.
Yeah, like, could it have been said kinder? Could he
absolutely.
have, rather than coming at her for her choices, because her going out, hanging out with her friends, staying out all night and getting drunk, not the problem. The issue was that when it came time for her to have her turn, so he could rest, she didn't.
I mean, if I was him, knowing that she'd rested for like 5-6 hours from 7 to 1. I can't do maths right now. When it's time for you to go, you take her the baby, go, wake up, tag, you're it, and leave.
See, I wouldn't be able to do that. Only because, like, I
You're
don't
a
know.
lot better person than I am.
Well, no, again, it's a safety thing. If there are times when if you drink so much, you're still
Drunk.
you're still over the limit and can't drive the next day, then I'm not just going to do that to someone not knowing how much alcohol they still have in the system, whether or not they are going to be fit to keep my child safe while I left them, you know? Like, I'd have to confirm that first.
But yeah, that's part of the waking up process. If they're just groggy because they feel sick because they are hungover, that's an issue. Here's the baby.
No fault for the mum getting out there and getting messy, but guess what? You get home, there's still a kid that needs raising, and you've now got a chronically sleep-deprived husband and father there that needs sleep in order to then be able to do his part in the household for the kid at the job. Like, that has got to be a priority over your sooky feelings because you're hungover and feeling like shit having to take care of a baby. Like,
Yep.
that is the consequence of the choice you made.
Him falling asleep downstairs because he was sleep deprived is not an irresponsible act.
No. And what do you mean for so fucking long? He said he woke up at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
and he went down there at 3 p.m. That's 4 fucking hours to he said almost a full day.
Yep.
Key comments. Your wife is so wrong, really stunningly wrong. First for staying out until 4, second for drinking so hard she was still feeling bad at 1 p.m, and then for having the chutzpah to yell at you for taking a 4-hour nap. And also, at the same time, it's just super duper hard to have a tiny baby with colic. If you can afford a night nanny for a couple of nights, it might be worth paying for some respite, which will feel even better than the satisfaction of knowing your wife is the asshole. Not the asshole, and hang in there. Like, that's a valid point. Like, if in the situation we were in, if I was going out and I wanted to be able to let loose, I would have someone on standby. Like, hey, if this goes later than normal, would you mind going to spend the night helping out with the baby just so, husband isn't fucked tomorrow? It's just, there are so many ways that you can proactively prepare for these kinds of situations so you can, party without concern or disrespect towards
But
your
also,
partner.
if you're going out to let loose, you can still let loose knowing you have a colicky baby at home without getting absolutely, I'm going to write myself off drunk. Like, just get regular drunk.
I don't know what that is. I've only ever drank myself sober.
Blackout drunk is where you're borderline alcohol poisoning. So beyond drinking you drink so much that you've gone from drinking yourself sober to getting yourself drunk again, where your body will start physically rejecting the alcohol. For me, that's what blackout drunk is. Some people just consider themselves blackout drunk if they've had too many drinks and need a nap.
I haven't drank in years. And I've only ever been drunk a couple of times. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was because at the time, ADHD didn't know at that point. My body was just metabolizing it.
Yes.
So much faster.
Yes, we do.
Where it's just but yeah, I've never been hungover. Never been
2 schooners of water and 2 Panadol before you go to bed, you'll wake up without a hangover every time.
Well, I was a teenager, so I didn't do shit.
Even back then, but even to this day, I've never had a hangover.
Not the asshole. I don't get all these people judging OP. They both needed a day off. They had a deal. She broke the deal. That is the old asshole part.
Correct.
Not her going out, not her letting loose. She can drink as much as she fucking wants, by all means.
She needs to be prepared.
But she's got to be able to do her part.
Exactly.
Yeah. He was very nice to her to give her more free hours from his own time, and yet she can't deal with her own baby for an afternoon. I get babies are exhausting.
But he went and got her breakfast and smoothies and coffee. That's above and beyond.
Or to kind of facilitate that. Yeah.
And he likely took the baby with him when he went to do all that.
Well, he would have had to. Unless he ordered it in. I don't know. I get babies are exhausting, comes with the territory. Mum is a stay-at-home mum, needs a break, but OP is exhausted too. Again, dangerously so at this point. He was taking care of his baby, who doesn't sleep well, for more than 24 hours all alone. The mum needs a reality check. She was the one who chose to get drunk when she knew full well that the next day she needed to take care of the baby. Edit to add, stop saying that no one judge OP. First read all the comments and then you can talk about it. See, I just had a thought where it's like, okay, why didn't you call for backup?
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, but she kept shifting the goalposts. So it's like, even if she had been straightforward and honest up front about what the plans were or what could happen, then there could have been some proactive plans in place.
Correct.
But if she's giving you, oh, just another couple of hours, just another couple of hours, just another couple of hours, then even if he had anyone he could call on to be like, hey, can you back me up?
Then it's too late.
It wouldn't feel worth it. Whereas had she been straight up from the front, like she could have said,
and not just that,
we're going into the night, might be here overnight, then he could have been like, all right, you know what, I'm going to call my sister or whatever.
She also sounds like the kind of person that if it had just been for those few hours that he had someone over, that she would hit him with the, oh, what, you couldn't even watch your baby for this. You had to have someone come help you. I do this all by myself, blah, blah, blah.
But she doesn't. Because as soon as it got to the overnight part, it was a full 24 hours.
Yep.
And she has never done that for a full 24 hours because, based on the information he's provided, they have no choice but to take care of each other over the night outside of his work hours in order to make sure that they can both be functional. So, no, she doesn't do it. Not 24 hours at a time all by herself. Another commenter, not the asshole, you have a system of sharing responsibilities. She abandoned the responsibility and didn't even have the decency to communicate her plans properly, just repeatedly leave you in the positions where you had no choice. You take a rest for a few hours and you're the problem. You communicated that you were hungry, tired, and needed a rest. You took very minimal time to satisfy those needs, and she's trying to manipulate the situation because she absolutely knows she was so in the wrong every step of the way. Like, yeah, like, bro needed a long rest. He got a longer short rest at most. Bro needed a full 8 to 12 hours, man. 4 would barely take the edge off.
He needed a sleep, not a rest.
Yeah. Dude needed a light fucking coma after more than 24 hours. Not the asshole, and I assure you, if you were a woman complaining about your husband going out to drink until 4 a.m. and getting drunk and irresponsible like this, there would be zero no assholes here or everyone sucks here. Can't justify the mental gymnastics needed to justify the horrible behavior by your wife. Honestly, I disagree with that one. Because that happens so often. People are like, he works hard, he's a provider, he's going out there getting loose, he needs to be able to unwind. Like, so many people are just like, well, you're the woman, you're the mother, fucking put up with it.
Yeah.
Like, they're not wrong that there would be people out there saying that, you know, you're both the assholes or there are no assholes here. But I definitely could see a dude doing this kind of behavior being less likely to be pulled up on it because
she's a mildly puckered asshole, but she's not gaping.
Well, again, like on my end, the only asshole things that I can see here is the fact that she didn't communicate clearly exactly what the plan was going to be. Even if it was you know what, we're just going to see where it goes. It could go on, or if you weren't aware of that, as soon as you do become aware of that, you make it clear. And then it's like, okay, well, we can't just keep things open and flexible. I need to know what to expect so I can appropriately plan for it. And it's like, okay, I want to be able to come and go as I want tonight. So I'm going to call mum to come spend the night with you. So that way she can kind of take over some of that night shift from you. So you're not fucked tomorrow morning. Yeah. And then if I get home by midnight, well, then it won't matter. She can just chill. It won't be a problem. I do want to extend tonight, but here are the limits. I will be home by midnight. It needs to be a conversation. And then at the end of all of that, she would still be an asshole for being like, can I go back to bed? Lose some of your day to do your things.
And not just that, but plans that you've actively likely made.
Yeah, because keep in mind,
a week, if not more in advance.
She got back at 4 a.m., got up at 9 a.m.
So that's only 5 hours.
Yeah, 5 hours, and he only got 4. And that was before she went back to bed that second time. So she took 5 hours and insisted she needed more, but she was blowing up his phone before he even managed to get 4 hours. That's just a cunt move.
Yeah.
No, dude. If you expect him to keep taking care of this kid, he needs to fucking sleep too. Me on 5 hours, even hungover, I'm like, safety has to come first. And if I'm feeling like shit, and obviously you need to sleep, you've been awake for 24 fucking hours.
Yeah, which is why you have,
call in a backup. Yeah. Obviously, she's still hungover, then those kind of cognitive faculties likely aren't firing. But again, it's all of that not knowing. He had no idea, when she said a couple of hours, that he'd be waiting there from when she went back to bed at 9 o'clock, that she wouldn't be getting back up again until 3.
Yeah.
It's the dismissal of those really important safety concerns when you have such a colicky baby. And then the fucking audacity to say that he shouldn't get at least 4 hours of sleep when she's just fucking taken 11 minus however long it took her to eat. In short, go fuck yourself. That's fucked.
Fucking white people.
You really can just tell, can't you?
Yep.
Yeah. Next up on our shit cunts and sit cunts from subreddit AITAH. My kids won't come to Thanksgiving or Christmas.
You're probably the reason.
I have 2 daughters that are both in college. We have a family group chat with my parents, all of my siblings, and all the grandchildren. My parents and siblings are all Trump voters / supporters and are not shy about it. My family gatherings will devolve into arguing between them and myself. My kids did not grow up in the shit show. After the election, my kids silently left the group chat. My mother and sisters are trying to plan Thanksgiving through the chat. When my mother noticed my daughters left, she called to ask me why. I told her they are grown adults and she would need to ask them. One of my 2 daughters is a lesbian. When my mother asked the 2 girls, they told my mum that they would no longer be attending any family functions, including Christmas and Thanksgiving. This created a shit show on an epic scale in the family chat. My mother tried to explain to my kids that their vote had nothing to do with them. My oldest explained that they exposed their character and they were raised to not engage with people that condone rape, lying, and cheating. She told my mother that your votes will directly impact our lives in a negative way and you guys did not care. You chose a politician's hollow words over your grandkids. I pay for both my kids' college, their health insurance, car insurance, food and gas. I pay for airfare when they come home. My deal with them was if they went to school and got good grades, I would pay if I could. My mother wants me to cut them off until they come to Thanksgiving and Christmas. I said no. I have my kids back and they are adults. I will not force them to make a choice they didn't want to make. My siblings are saying I'm an asshole and I'm dividing the family. Okay, so my judgment is asshole. What say you?
As I said, they're likely the reason they won't go. It's not the parents' fault. The parents doing the best they can, and I completely support their decisions. If you want to fuck around and vote for an absolute piece of shit dictator, go for it. Don't expect people to have to agree with your decision. You're all grown adults. Adults can make choices. You don't get to dictate other people's choices. It's as simple as that.
So you don't think OP is the asshole?
No. OP supports their children in not having to come to Christmas or Thanksgiving because they don't agree with their racist relatives.
I agree with that statement. I do, however, think OP is still the asshole because if that's your family, why the fuck are you going?
It doesn't sound like they are if the kids are coming to them at Christmas and Thanksgiving.
It didn't describe that they were.
Sounded like they were. They understand why they don't want to do it and they're not forcing them to and they're not cutting them off to bend to those other people's wills. They're still their family. So just because they don't have those beliefs doesn't mean they're going to force other people to have to do it. That's the mature thing to do.
Yeah, I still wouldn't be able to tolerate that though.
Yeah, but that's your decision to make.
The reason why I have nothing to do with my father is specifically because I'm like, you're not getting anywhere near my kids. If someone isn't good enough for my kids, why would I waste my time with them?
Because Trump isn't always going to be there in office. And if they have just fallen for all of the rhetoric of the Make America Great Again, then clearly that's what the issue is.
Yeah, but
So
if
there
that's
could
the
be a
case,
larger
then
thing
they can
at
come
work.
crawling back and apologize after all is said and done.
Correct, which is likely why they're not just burning all of their bridges. Because not everyone is serial arsonists like us.
I do love a good fire.
Especially in a dumpster.
Yeah, just I know that I wouldn't be going either. If I found out that anyone in my family voted for Dutton, I'd be like, okay, so we don't have any reason to talk.
We don't accept Death Eaters here.
As it is, there's a whole branch of my family that I just kind of quietly noped out of because there were a couple of Pauline Hanson posts put out there. I'm like, all right, that's told me where me and mine stand. I'm a head out.
See, I reshare Pauline Hanson posts, but not because I support her, but because I find the idiocracy in them hilarious.
Yeah, well, they've fallen into the trap of thinking immigration is the problem. Cunt.
It is a problem, but it is not the problem.
Even not really. The problem is
stopping all the boats wouldn't solve the inherent economic issues we have within our society. All the crime issues we have in our society.
No, we need to tax our billionaires.
Exactly.
We need to, if we were taxing our billionaires.
We also need to slow down on immigration and
we really
only
don't,
bring in qualified workers, not just anyone and everyone we can take.
Based on our per capita population, we absolutely could. If we were taxing our billionaires, we would have the money for the infrastructure, we would have it for the social support systems, we would have it for the housing, and all of it would be a non-issue.
Yes, but we're not going to be able to instantly tax out every single one of the billionaires all at once.
Oh, no, I get that. I'm just saying that literally every issue people have, immigrants are not it. It's rich coming from this specific branch of the family because can't you marry a Greek?
I mean, one of the issues, because we are inherently going to run out of arable space because no one wants to fucking move out to the country.
Well, yeah, but if you're coming in as an immigrant and we're like, this is the only space we have available for you, then that's a choice.
Yes, and when they say no and then they're already here.
Well, that wouldn't be how that would work.
It does with the asylum seekers.
Well, yeah, but even then, asylum seekers have an actual visa process they have to undergo in order to get asylum seeker status.
Once they get caught, anyway.
And even then, they don't get a say in where they go. They get assigned.
Yeah. And then they can move.
Well, yeah, but the only reason they would be able to move is if they had developed their own economic viability. Because if they are relying on government funding, then
Or they have family that came over here as immigrants and already live in those other places.
Yeah, but if that was the case, then I doubt that they would need asylum seeker status. Because they could come over. They could come over on family-sponsored visas.
Yeah, which is also part of the issue. Is once a few of them get in, you then start getting so many more people coming and so many more people coming, and there should just be a limited number of visas you can give out per year unless it is for asylum reasons.
I agree.
Especially if you come over on I am this qualification that meets Australian standards. That's how I got my visa. I'm now going to bring in 45 relatives who have no degrees in whatsoever and have no interest in upskilling their lives. They're just going to take up space.
I wouldn't have a problem with that. Namely because when you're looking at visa processes where you're sponsoring family members, you're the one economically responsible for them anyway. The only cap limit I would expect is the growth population rate from immigration should match the
Natural-born citizens.
No. The economic growth rate of what we can as a population support.
Correct.
So
which at the
if
moment,
we get X amount of tax dollars, that is
more
enough.
than we can afford.
Because we're not taxing the billion.
I know, which is why I'm saying until we do, we need to slow it down so that those lines meet.
Yeah, in everything, it just all needs to be a sustainable practice, and nothing of what we are doing is sustainable whatsoever. But 100% not immigrants' fault.
Yeah.
Because in the end, the position that all of us are in, including immigrants, is solely based on the decisions of governments. And that were they making the appropriate choices and doing the job that they were supposed to be doing, then no one would even be discussing immigrants because it wouldn't be a fucking problem. It's all just scapegoating.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, you don't have it was an Australian that shot up Christchurch.
Yeah.
New Zealand do not come at Australia for that.
No, they just come at us for a multitude of other reasons. Mainly because we won't give them enough sheep.
Stop it. The idea of your parent coming to you going, like, hey, cut off your kids because they won't come to Thanksgiving.
Oh, it's absolute bullshit.
I'd be like, shove that turkey up your ass.
There's a reason they're not coming.
I'm not fucking going.
And when you sort your shit out, they might decide to come back. Until then, off you fuck.
Yeah.
And I'll see you there.
Off you fuck to hell, and I will see you there.
Like, I see where both sides are coming from, because I have family that I very much do not agree with what they stand for, but their children are nothing like them, and because they are minors, they still have to live with them. So I go for those reasons.
Yeah.
Like, if I was to go to, like, my brother's wedding, for example, had he had one and not just eloped, you little ginger fuck. I have family that would have gone to that I don't like. I still would have gone, even though they were going to be there. Doesn't mean I have to talk to them while I'm there.
Yeah, see, that is the great thing about being in a family of shit stirrers who are also fucking cowards.
Exactly.
Because I can pretty much have a go at anyone in my family about any of the shit that they pull, and when we come together face to face, they're not going to say a fucking thing to me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they will not have the guts.
Which is why it's fine to go to that event still, because you might not be going specifically for those family members that are problematic. You could be going for the younger people that are there so that you can still offer them the correct guidance and protection that they're clearly not going to get from the other elders in the family.
Yeah, I hear. We've all had to walk that line.
Exactly. Them still going doesn't automatically make them an arsehole, because there could be reasons like that.
Yeah, I just feel like, I have to go because my sister's kids are younger and they need to see that what their parents are spouting is not all there is in the world. Like,
exactly.
But she didn't say that.
They also didn't not say that. unless we got reasons why, we can't instantly justify that they are the asshole, as well as the fuckwits that are these children's grandparents.
So, not the asshole.
The fact that they're...
You're the asshole, but with caveats.
Exactly. The fact that they're instantly not just kowtowing to their parents' decisions shows me, A, the money isn't coming from the grandparents, which means it's not inherited wealth. So they can just say, fuck off, and I'll see you at Christmas.
Which will be at my house with my blue-haired kids and the lesbian cupcakes. And
we're going to have gay Christmas at Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras themed Christmas.
Oh my God.
Mardi Gras themed.
Phenomenal.
That's a great thing to honour your dad.
He really was a flaming gay in the end. He was cremated.
Oh my God. Last week, we had I say last week, approximately an hour and a half ago, we had a new segment and we have another one. This one is Q&A Got Cancelled, which, if you're not aware, Australia had a show called Q&A, where basically topics important to the Australian people would be discussed, where people in the audience would ask their questions of the panel, and there would be a panel of, hopefully, informed people in that area. So
half the time the questions did
advocates.
feel carefully curated, though.
Yeah, they were always... Like, you could...
You're not just going to get a random drongo walk up and be like, oi, fuckhead, why is this like this?
I mean, some people would, but that would only be because they went off script.
And depending on the
topic. When their
topic.
question was selected. Q&A got cancelled, which means that you get us. So these are stories from specific places or threads or subreddits where someone is asking a question and wanting an answer. This is from the subreddit, No Stupid Questions.
Only stupid answers.
Why do men usually ask for a woman's number instead of offering their own? I feel that this would make the woman feel more secure. Since he's the one that initiated the approach, he should be the one to give her his number, in my opinion. Yes, sir, because clearly you're not a predator. But you have a lot of dudes who will straight up ask to borrow a woman's phone for whatever reason, or be like, hey, let me give you my number, and will take her phone and then call himself specifically so he has her number. It is specifically to get around any potential boundary she would have around giving out her number. So it's an excellent fucking idea, but it's basically a means of being more assertive in the situation. It's like, oh, if I give you my number, then I'm at your mercy. Whereas if I ask for yours, that social contract that demands women be nice in all situations, including basically by avoiding rejecting anyone at all for any reason, pretty much means she's more likely to give it to him just to kind of get him to go away. And then she's at his mercy, because even if she ghosts him, never responds to a message, then her number is out there and he could end up anywhere.
Which is why all of my female friends that have my number are more than welcome to, and have in the past given my number to these guys, so that when they start getting unsolicited dick pics, they know for a fact I will send them back.
Well, to be fair, they could do that anywhere. Because guaranteed they've been sent dick pics. So they could just be like, oh, just go through my Rolodex of dick and send that one.
Yes,
back.
but I'm a lot more selective with mine and my poses and the lighting. And I will often draw artworks on them, so at first you won't realize you're looking at a dick.
It's like a Rorschach test.
Exactly.
Comments. I actually offer my own. If a woman wants to call me back, then I know she's interested. And it's like, yes, that is a normal thing to do. And it does give you the...
Make business cards. More men need business cards.
I was at an industry event and I had business cards for this exact reason, because in the entertainment industry in Australia or anywhere else, it's still all run by old white dudes and they're a fucking slut for a business card.
Yep.
So I made them because it's tapping into that demographic that loves that shit. And one of the men there that was actually ended up being the director of photography on my short, he was like, oh, this is amazing. Hang on, I'll give you mine. And I'm like, it's just like trading Pokemon cards. It's fucking great.
Literally. I'll give you 2 chads for a mic.
Yeah, it does take 2 chads to make up a mic. It takes like 7 to make up a Raj.
Yeah.
Yeah, the exchange rate on Chads is just fucking shit. Response. I am a woman. I preferred to get a number and then call the guy. Happily married now, so don't want numbers anymore. I got a lot of numbers back in the day. One time, this guy who I was chatting with during a university class slipped his number into my purse without me noticing. Then as we were saying goodbye, he said, by the way, my number is in your purse if you want to call me. Very smooth, cute. I liked it. Guy was
Perfect.
cute, and we had a nice chat beforehand too, which helped. Someone responds. I also took $30 to fuel my meth addiction. Call me sometime. Like,
Amazing.
someone else responds. She can fix him.
But also steal that 30 and then take her on a date with it later. And then you can always just tell your kids, yeah, your mother paid for the first date that we ever had. She didn't realize it, but she paid for it. Yeah, that one's pretty harmless.
Yeah, it's just the question of like, why don't men offer their number? In general, that's why.
Rejection sensitivity, because if you're asking for someone else's, you feel a lot less rejected than offering your own as well.
Well, especially because they are like, you give them your number, then they take that number home and you're not there providing any sort of pressure for them to respond at all. Whereas in that moment, if you're asking for their number, they are more likely to say yes because of that social contract and the demands that are placed on women to give a favorable response because they've been put on the spot. That's why that happens. And that is, like, your idea is an excellent one. Yes, men should be offering their number. Though that being said, it's 2026. Usually it's just like, find me on Instagram. Like,
here's my Snapchat. You'll see the daily nudes that I post on my story for $5 a month.
There were more stories for the D&Eans here, but the episode has got to end here. We're emotionally drained. I think I've learned that 2 episodes...
Fuck his dad.
I mean, that's just good advice regardless of context, especially if dad's not going to be around much longer.
I mean, if I have his ashes made into like a dildo or something, he can technically...
Merry Christmas, Dave!
Don't start a butt plug.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next time.